Hi guys, so welcome back to Bunny Brick Designs. So as you can see, I've started playing with some designs for using up these beads, and I'm going to be using these pink beads up. I've started making some little sprays using wire, so I'm going to show you how I'm doing them. I just made up a couple just to see what they are, and I don't know if I'm going to make a bracelet or maybe like a brooch or something, or maybe I thought about maybe doing a barrette, or doing something where I maybe do a bracelet that is, we put the beads together like this, have it wrapping around the wrist and then filling it in with sprays sticking out so it's big fun. But I thought I'd show you how I'm making the sprays. And you have two options. You can start at one end and just have a little piece of wire as your guide wire, or you can do the double-sided method, which is what I'm going to do today. And so I'm going to start out with a piece of wire, probably the wing, like about a wingspan, just wingspan in length. And I'm going to basically fold it in half. So I've matched up my two ends and I've put my 3 beads on, and I'm just going to hold them. I'm going to pinch and I'm going to twist. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 10 or 11 just to give it a little bit of a starting branch. Now I can take each side. And so what I think I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to do a lot of little wisps on this one. And again, I'm making all of these different because I'm planning on either, like I said, doing a barrette, which I don't think I've done on this channel before. So that might be fun to do something new and different. So now I've put my 3 beads on. Well, you don't want to twist here. So you need to bend your wire to about where you think you're going to want your beads to be. Maybe a little bit longer than what you want. And then you're just going to fold it. And then you're going to, again, twist until those beads are nice and tight. 4. And sometimes it's only going to be 3 or 4. Sometimes it's going to be a little more. And then I'm going to start twisting, taking these 2 wires, and I'm just going to twist just to give me a little bit more of a space. I'm going to take the other side. I'm going to put a big bead on. And the bigger the bead, the easier it is to do this. I'm just saying that the seed beads can be a pain. So again, I'm going to fold this down to about where I want it. So I want this guy to be right about there. Okay, so now I'm going to fold it and I'm going to twist. Now it's probably a little long for what I want, but that's fine because when I start twisting, that wire is going to shorten up. So yeah, so there we go. And now, because this wire is kind of floating free and it's not really attached to that, I can take my pliers and just twist like that a couple of times, and that gives me a twist. And if, as you can see, it ended up on the wrong side, I can just undo one of those twists, bend it back to where I want it to be. And because it's wire, you can bend these. So I want this to be organic looking. And I want to have a lot of these pink beads because I want to try to use up a lot of these pink beads. So this is going to be pink, black, and white. And there's 2 beads on there. And 3 beads. And if you notice, those 2 are pretty wide and that one's pretty short. That's fine. Now I want this one in the middle here. And I want it to be right about there. So that's perfect. And I'm going to twist, twist, twist. And just keep twisting until I get all the way up to where it started. And to be honest, I don't necessarily need to twist that one. Now I'm going to take this side, I'm going to pick up one of these big white or clear ones. And so this is going to be random. You don't want this to be, round ones go so much easier. You don't want it to be, you know, perfect and always in the same spot. And again, it got twisted when I twisted it there. So that needs to be in the center. That one needs to be there. And again, if something happens where your twists, it throws it off, that's fine. It's organic. It's supposed to be, you know, organic. This is supposed to look like flowers. And so now that I've twisted a little bit more, I've gotten, there we go. I've gotten it kind of to where I want. These didn't end up in the center, but that's fine. They ended up on the side. So now I can put something bigger here. And again, if you end up with, you need something in the center to cover those wires, you can always take this, and when you do your twist, only do a very short one. So like I'm going to do a short one here and just fold that in right there. And then now I'm going to twist so I have, and he's going to be off to this side. There we go. And just twist. And when we put these together, I am going to weave beads in, so that when I'm wiring them up, the beads are going to be covering some of these wires. Just because, and it's funny because as soon as I get on camera, this doesn't want to work the way I want it to. Never does, but there we go. That looks better. And again, there's going to be a good side and a bad side. You can pick whichever side you like the best. And so now I'm going to add some more pink. And now you could do this you could do sprays, one with all pink, one with all black. You could alternate. You know, you don't have to follow my pattern. There we go. So I'm going to continue on in this. I didn't want it that high up. There we go. And if you get it too high up, like I just did there, and it's too loose, you can always undo twists like that. I think I haven't used one of these long crystals. I think I want to use one of those. And I'm going to just do that and get that there and twist. And so now if you notice, it's kind of tight at the center, so I need to put something down here. So this is perfect because now I can take one of these big black beads and I can make a long branch that'll fit in there, and it'll stick out so that when I wire it up and I adjust it and I give it a single twist, there, it's going to stick out, and then that guy will sit there. So now I've got something that is sticking up a little bit. So when I put him on the branch, he'll be sticking up. So I'm going to continue on and make a bunch more of these. And I'm probably going to make a really big one and use up some of this wire. So this will be my center focal. And I'm going to continue on. So now if you wanted to start a secondary branch, I could start a secondary branch. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So let's say I want to start a secondary branch, and I'm going to use, if I can find one of these round ones. And so to start a secondary branch, you're just going to do, basically, I'm going to twist like that. So now I've got this secondary branch, and this wire here is going to be my new, so, you know, this wire is going to be the one that comes down, and I do everything off of that one, and then I can start a secondary one here, or I could take this to this side and do it coming toward the center, and then that way this would be a center, and then you'd have your center focal. So I think I'm going to do a center focal because I think I want this one to be my center. So now that I've got the wire going this way, and again, if it's too tall, like you think you can undo some wraps, I think that's going to be fine because I can use this wire as well. And I think pinks, a lot of pinks. So I don't normally make a lot of these just because I'm not a big fan of doing these just because, one, it hurts your fingers. So I will tell you, if you're going to try this, doing all of this twists with your fingers, because you really can't do it with the pliers, it's going to hurt your fingers after a while. Just because of pinching the wire for that amount of time, will tend to hurt it. And so there we go. So that one is there, sticking out. Now I'm going to pick up a black. And I'm not using these beads here because I want to save those 6 for a necklace. I had an idea for those to make a pink lemonade necklace. All right, so as you can see, it's starting to form a chain on the other side, or a branch on the other side. It's not going to be the same as this side, and that's fine. I want it organic. I like when I'm doing my wire, while I do make my earrings symmetrical, if I'm doing something that's supposed to resemble flower branches or sprays, I've done this, for like wedding sprays. And what's really cool is if you're doing this and you're doing something for a wedding, is if you get silk flowers and you add silk flowers to it. So I may do a video on that if you're interested to see what it would look like with silk flowers. Yeah, I don't want to do that. See, and that's what I say, like my fingers, I didn't want to twist that. I wanted to twist the whole thing, not just the wire that was there. So there we go. And yes, it's going to look messy to start until you get everything. And so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to beat up the rest of these to match this side, or to get closer to this side. And when we come back, I will have all of my sprays put together, or I will have all of my sprays and we will put them together. And we will I think we're going to make a barrette, because I haven't done that with you guys before. I think it would be fun to make the barrette. And see, that one just did not twist the way I wanted it to, but if I keep twisting, it'll eventually get into shape. Eventually. And that one's way out in left field there, so I'm gonna just bend him. Yeah, I gotta go fix this guy because he did not sit where I wanted him to. So, and in order to fix him, I'm just gonna bend him up toward the shaft and then bend it back down. The beauty of wire there. And I want these guys out a little more. There we go. And that guy to sit in the middle. And this guy is a little too loose for my taste, so I'm just going to twist him up some more. There we go. So yeah, so if you see something that's too loose and you don't like it, you can always add more twists to that specific branch. If you can't get your fingers in there because it's a little thing, just use some pliers. So there we go. I'm going to continue on, and I will meet you back when I have, I don't know, 5 or 6 more of these done, and we'll put them together and make a, God, I can't think, barrette. I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, I'm back. So I made the center one, and I left the wires attached, and I've got 4 more of these. I don't know if I have quite enough. I've got 2 really compact ones and 2 kind of wispy ones. And so we're going to see if we have enough. First, we're going to need to prep our barrette. So I don't want to just set these on there and have the metal showing through. If I had a lot more sprays, or if my sprays were, super thick, it would be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, and I just cut it already. And I'm going to take some E6000, and I am going to just dot the E6000, making sure I get the corners the most here, because again, we want this nice and tight on it. And I'm just going to do the edges. I don't want too much glue because it's going to come through the ribbon, and it's going to look bad if you get too much through the ribbon. And I'm just going to set the ribbon on as even as I can and push it down. And like I said, you're going to see the glue through the ribbon. Unfortunately, I mean, you could put a second and a third one down if you wanted. And then I am just going to trim just a little bit here, close to the end. I don't want it completely close. That one's a little short, but that's fine. Now, to prevent the ends from fraying, you're going to take a lighter and just burn the end. You're going to see that it singed a little and it shortened. And I did it on that side too. That's going to prevent it from fraying. And then all you have to do is we're going to just glue this other side down. I could cut it and burn it. But I'm not going to do that. Just because. And then I'm just going to tuck this over and pinch it down, and tuck this side over and pinch it down. Now, it's going to stay pretty good. We're going to let that sit here to the side for a minute and dry. And as you can see, that side popped up. So if it pops up, you could do clips. You just got to be careful that whatever you get to clip it doesn't get glued into it. So, if you just have to keep pinching it down, that's fine. We can always trim that up at the end. So then, in order to get your wires on, you can either glue them or you can wire them on. And now I'm going to close this for the moment, and I'm going to start out with my center one here because I do want it in the center. And I left these wires on for a reason, because I can take these wires and feed them through the center of my barrette, and I can start to wire on this spray. Now remember, I said that we would be adding some beads when we put it together. This is what I was talking about. I don't want to just put this on and have sprays just, sticking out, just stuff sticking out. So I am going to add beads as I go and wire those in as I'm wrapping. Now, if I need to add another, like when I add another spray, I can add them in. I can tuck it in and then wire it down. So I can add it into the wires. I can stick it. So for example, if I wanted to stick this one, you know, going that way, I can angle it so that it will go in straight and come out at an angle like that. So I can have one going down. This one, because this one's going down, I can angle this one and have it in here going up. And again, we're going to wire this down some more. So, you know, don't worry about that. But for now, I just wanted to get these tucked in. I got that one bead attached. And now I'm going to decide where I want my sprays to be. So I've got my two thickest ones here and here. And I think I want those sticking out the end, but I want this angled up and then this angled down. So we're going to stick this guy here, and he's going to be angled down. Now, in order for me to get him attached, I'm going to need to wire in like I did and not hook my other wire here. And I'm going to come up through and I'm going to add a big bead. I think I'm going to add a, let's add a white crystal just to make it a little puffier there. I have a white crystal. And then I'm going to come in, and because I want to make sure that this spray is wired in, I'm going to wrap around the spray branch just once there. I'm going to add, I think, and as you can see, it's still not up because we need to, we're going to anchor it down in multiple places. I'm going to add a pink bead because I want a lot of these pink beads. So there's, whoops, if I can get it on my wire. So I've added a pink bead, and then I'm going to, again, feed it through and come out the other side. So now I've got it anchored in a little bit. It's not super tight. So I'm going to come back up. I'm going to come around. And I'm going to pull tight. I can, again, wrap around my spray in another spot and go through. Now, you may need to add additional wires. You may not be able to do it with just the wire, and I just got my wire into a bead. That's why I'm pulling it back out. So if that happens, just, you know, use your pliers. Make sure it's not wrapped around anything. And so it's up in there pretty good and tight. And now I'm going to add, as you can see, there's a lot of wire showing. So I want to add in my next spray. And if I need to cut off some wire, just go ahead and snip it. I want to add my next spray so that it is here. And again, I'm just going to come in. Because I have a spot there that needs a bead, I can grab any bead. I can grab a clear bead. So we'll put a clear bead on that one. If I don't get my knot, like I've got a knot in that. So I'm just going to trim that. And so there's going to be a nice clear bead. And because this one does not want, there we go. We're going to go underneath, get the clear bead in, go underneath some things, make it nice and tight. And again, you can add as many sprays as you want, as many beads as you want. All right, so that side's on pretty good. And now this side is going to get so that's angled on the downward. This one will be angled upwards. And we are going to just tuck him right in there. We want to make sure we're uniform in the length. So I'm just pushing him down in just to make it a little more uniform. And I'm going to wrap around. And I still have two more. I have another additional spray here to put in, and I can put that, you know, here. I may put that there. I could put that sticking up there. Again, because I see, you know, again, and now I can adjust my sprays. So I've got, you know, all the little tendrils on all of these things can be adjusted so that, you know, and again, make sure everything is wired down nice and tight. You know, if you have to go around multiple times, I am going to have to attach this a little bit better up there, but I want to get this side tucked in. And as you can see, I'm running out of wire here. So I am probably going to have to add additional wire, and I will show you how to do that. It's very easy. And so I'm going to take this down in through there. This guy is being hidden, so I'm going to pop him there. Bring this guy up through. And then if in the event you have something like that where the wire looks messy, just go ahead and tuck it under. Now, we will be fixing underneath here when we're done, just to make it look a little bit nicer. And see, that didn't stay, but that's fine. We'll fix that when we're done. And, all right, so now I want to anchor that there, but I want something semi-big to go there. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to tuck this guy around. Now, when you get to the point where you need to finish off, just take your wire and wrap it around one of your tendrils a few times like this, and then just go ahead and snip it off. Just be careful you don't snip your tendril, and then just wrap it in like you would any other wire wrapping that you do. And so, yeah, I mean, it looks a little messy right now, and again, I need to straighten some stuff out on this side, and that can, again, you can adjust however you want. That guy needs to come up. That guy needs to come there. I want it a little asymmetrical, but not so asymmetrical that it looks wacky. And so I think I want... Do I want that guy there, or do I want that guy there? No, I want this guy. Well, that's there. This is going to come down here. This guy is coming up there. So what I'm going to do is I just adjusted. As you can see, I moved one of my branches. I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to snip him. And I am going to stick him right in there. And because there's not a lot of need for extra beads on that one, again, I may need to add some more beads because this is asymmetrical. That's way too far out. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Again, I'm just trying to adjust my beads and my branches so that this guy is anchored in pretty good. He's up there. That's down there. Do we want... And if I needed to, I could additionally add... I could add another branch over here. I mean, it's... I think maybe dead center on this one. And just do that, because then that way it's somewhat off to the side, but it's also and so I'm just going to weave in, and I'm going to add some pink beads. And yes, this is supposed to be messy. I'm going to call this one Fireworks. Do I need 3 of those? No, we'll do 1 there. And stick this guy through here. And so this is my first time making a barrette, so please bear with me. I'm not used to doing barrettes, so I've seen them done. I've just never done them. All right, that looks good. And that works. All right. So now I've just got to get this guy in there. Get this guy up through here. I'm going to wrap that around there. I'm going to wrap this guy around there just once. Just so it's... and like I said, you could add additional beads. I think this is good. I may add some more sprays off camera. Just because you guys get the point. And I'm just trying to pinch this guy in. Come on. There we go. And see, when I usually do this, I usually do it with flowers. So the flowers, the silk flowers, make it a lot nicer. And we'll put that there at the top and make it look a little more higher. There we go. And again, I'm just playing with my tendrils. All right. So, oops. And see, you got to be careful not to do that, because I just connected. So if that happens, just cut the wires, tuck them in. Again, we're going to be covering these here in a minute anyways, so... And that guy is going to tuck up there. All right, make sure you don't close your, I mean, you can do this with it taken apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try not to break it, but I'm going to try to angle this and get this bar out. Because what I want to do is I want to take another piece of ribbon. And I want to cover in here just so, and it doesn't have to be all the way in. If you can get it all the way through like that, that's great. I am going to burn my ends. I'm going to straighten these out. And I'm going to burn this one. Just so it's nice and on this one, on this time, I am going to put a lot more glue on this side. And be careful you don't glue like I got glue on the clip. I will be wiping that off, but I want to get this fed through first, which is going to be a pain now that the glue is in there, but it can be done. I've done it when I'm making barrettes for other things with ribbon. And if you can't, there we go. And I'm just going to cover that so that I now have a nice covered, and I haven't gotten the glue on the back side because I don't know how long I needed it just yet. I'm going to stick this side through just because this side's going to be a little bit trickier because that other end didn't stay down and this end is not. There we go. Oops. All right, so now I've got that there. I still need some more glue, probably right there. So what I'm going to do is, even though I've glued this side down, and I'm going to add some more glue here. And then I am going to trim this. And this is where you're going to have to be careful, because now you're going to be with glue and beads. I'm going to burn that. And see, that was a little too much, but that's okay. So now, time for surgery. I got the glue in there. I am going to use my fingers. This is the beauty of E6000. It doesn't stick. Like, it sticks, but it doesn't stick to you. Like, you can get the glue off your fingers. And I'm just going to continue to press this down for a few minutes because the glue, it is getting on the ribbon, but because of the wires, it's sticking up. And so you want to make sure that it holds down quite nicely. So I like to hold it for a few seconds in spots and just make sure that it is sticking down. And there we go. So now you can't see the wires. Or if you can, like there, it's just very minor. And again, you can hold it down like that for a few seconds. And then you can just, when you're done, make sure you don't have any glue on anything. And then you can insert your bar again. And it's just, it's going to be tricky, but you can get your bar back in and then close it. And there you go. So now it doesn't look like, you can't see the wires too much. And you've got a usable barrette. So that is what my idea was, to use up these beads for the curated bead box. And I've got some more. I might make some more sprays. And maybe, again, I don't know if I want to wrap it now that I've glued it, but I may make another barrette. But anyways, I wanted to do that for you because it was an idea I had. And like I said, I've never done barrette like this before. I've done, you know, the ribbon on the barrette, and I've done beadwork, like, you know, peyote beadwork on the ribbon. I've done embroidery with barrettes where I've had to, you know, the embroidery, like with the shibori, and then you glue that on. So you'd have, you know, I've done that before. And then you put the ribbon on, and then you brick stitch around. But I thought, you know, I've seen this done before. Thought I'd give it a try for you. And I mean, it's cute. I like it. It looks like fireworks. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments for my first attempt, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.